my friends, Kamala's first interview was an utter calamity. It was also incredibly boring. I would have rather gotten a colonoscopy, but I do it for you guys. I'm a martyr, I do it for you. Now let me start off by saying the bar is so low it's in the 7th ring of hell. I wasn't expecting much from Kamala Harris, but I was expecting a little bit better. She's had 40 days to prepare. Kamala Harris answered those questions like she'd just been pulled over by highway patrol and was asked to take a breathalyzer and walk in a straight line. Like, ma'am, could you step out of the car? And she's like, my values haven't changed because they're my values. I'm gonna start calling Kamala Anna Nicole Harris. The way she was talking, it was like, I've been very clear. I love fracking. I've been clear since 2020 that I stand by fracking, Dana. Kamala Harris had 40 days to prepare and she did not give one clear, cogent, substantive answer the entire time. One thing I found incredibly ridiculous is asking Kamala Harris what she wants to do on day one. What do you want to do when you get into office? She's been vice president for almost 4 years. I also felt like Dana, whatever, was leading the witness. She was like, Kamala, did you do this because of A, B, or C? This is not the SAT multiple choice section. She's running for president of the United States. Ask her a question and let her answer. Now, Kamala Harris, she's supposed to have the best people around her with all these years of political experience, but let me tell you one mistake they made. Their biggest mistake is that they waited 40 days to do a sit-down interview. Had she been doing regular interviews, the stakes wouldn't have been that high. It wouldn't have been such a big deal. She would have developed a rapport and a cadence with all of these journalists, but instead, we're all watching now with a fine-tooth comb. Now let's talk about Mr. Jazz Hands Tim Walz. He was there next to Kamala.
Well, we're going to stop that there before we get into that, because I'm going to talk to y'all about that one too. Whoa, my goodness. We obviously are going to be talking about Kamala Harris's sit-down, I don't even know if you can really call it an interview, but interview with CNN's own Dana Bash. And it's just as bad as you probably imagined it would be. And this was not a live interview. This was taped and edited, right? And for it to be as bad as it was, I think says a lot. But I got some clips for you guys. This was the opener. Check it out.
If you are elected, what would you do on day one in the White House?
Well, there are a number of things. I will tell you, first and foremost, one of my highest priorities is to do what we can to support and strengthen the middle class. When I look at the aspirations, the goals, the ambitions of the American people, I think that people are ready for a new way forward, in a way that generations of Americans have been fueled by hope and by optimism. I think, sadly, in the last decade, we have had in the former president someone who has really been pushing an agenda and in an environment that is about diminishing the character and the strength of who we are as Americans, really dividing our nation, and I think people are ready to turn the page on that.
So what would you do day one?
Day one, it's going to be about, one, implementing my plan for what I call an opportunity economy. I've already laid out a number of proposals in that regard, which include what we're going to do to bring down the cost of everyday goods, what we're going to do to invest in America's small businesses, what we're going to do to invest in families, for example, extending the child tax credit to $6,000 for families for the first year of their child's life, to help them buy a car seat, to help them buy baby clothes, a crib. There's the work that we're going to do that is about investing in the American family around affordable housing, a big issue in our country right now. So there are a number of things on day one.
You mean affordable housing for illegals? Like what California is possibly about to pass? Yeah, absolutely insane. And did you notice she got asked the question twice? Because the first time she went on a rant about, oh, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad. And Dana Bash had to ask her the question again because she didn't even answer it. And I wouldn't even consider when she actually answered it a good answer. Like, what? But let's continue on. She's a flip-flopper, and here was an instance of her flip-flopping on fracking.
Do you still want to ban fracking?
No, and I made that clear on the debate stage in 2020, that I would not ban fracking. As vice president, I did not ban fracking. As president, I will not ban fracking.
In 2019, I believe, in a town hall, you said you were asked, would you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking on your first day in office? And you said there's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So yes. So it changed in that campaign?
In 2020, I made very clear where I stand. We are in 2024, and I've not changed that position, nor will I going forward. I kept my word, and I will keep my word.
No, you didn't make it clear. You know what's funny? CNN actually fact-checked Kamala. I know, shocking, right? But here's that clip. Check it out.
The fact check, bottom line, Abby, is that she did not actually make clear at a 2020 debate that she had changed her previous support for a fracking ban. So let me take you through this kind of saga. So here's what she said at a CNN climate town hall in 2019 on the subject of a fracking ban.
Will you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking your first day in office, adding the United States to the list of countries who have banned this devastating practice?
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So, yeah.
That was quite clear. So she ended her 2020 presidential run in December 2019. The only debate she participated in 2020 was the general election debate with then Vice President Mike Pence. And I went over the transcript of that debate tonight. Nowhere in there does she make clear that she had abandoned her previous support for a fracking ban. Rather, she repeated that Joe Biden, the head of the Democratic ticket at the time, would himself not ban fracking. So listen to what she actually said in that 2020 debate.
Joe Biden will not end fracking. He has been very clear about that. I will repeat, and the American people know, that Joe Biden will not ban fracking.
So it makes perfect sense that at the time she was speaking on behalf of Biden, the president, not the vice president, sets administration policy. But maybe other people feel differently. I certainly did not hear anywhere in there Kamala Harris saying that she personally had abandoned her previously expressed 2019 view. Rather, again, she was speaking for Joe Biden.
Yeah, so there you have that. And for me, I think she's just saying what she thinks people want to hear. I think her real position is for the green agenda, right? To ban fracking, to get rid of all the fossil fuels, and to go to electric. I think that's her real agenda. But she knows she can't say that because she would lose a lot of voters, especially in a big state, you know, like Pennsylvania. So, yeah, I don't think she's going to actually come out and say it, but we know the truth. I mean, she literally said, my stance has not changed. If that's the case, well, then she still wants to ban fracking. And there's multiple videos of her talking about, you know, wanting to ban fracking due to climate change and everything else. So, yeah, but she also got asked about the border. Check out that answer.
During the Biden-Harris administration, there were record numbers of illegal border crossings. Why did the Biden-Harris administration wait 3.5 years to implement sweeping asylum restrictions?
Well, first of all, the root causes work that I did as vice president, that I was asked to do by the president, has actually resulted in a number of benefits, including historic investments by American businesses in that region. The number of immigrants coming from that region has actually reduced since we began that work. But I will say this, that Joe Biden and I and our administration worked with members of the United States Congress on an immigration issue that is very significant to the American people and to our security, which is the border. And through bipartisan work, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress, a bill was crafted, which we supported, which I support. And Donald Trump got word of this bill that would have contributed to securing our border. And because he believes that it would not have helped him politically, he told his folks in Congress, don't put it forward. He killed the bill. A border security bill that would have put 1,500 more agents on the border. And let me tell you something, the Border Patrol endorsed the bill. And I'm sure in large part because they knew they were working around the clock, and 1,500 more agents would help them. That bill would have allowed us to increase seizures of fentanyl. Ask any community in America that has been devastated by fentanyl what passing that bill would have done to address their concern and a pain that they've experienced.
So you would push that legislation again. I just want to ask
Not only push it, I will make sure that it comes to my desk and I would sign it.
Okay, Kamala, so let's play this game. Let's say you're right. Let's say Trump called up some Republicans, and I love how she said what did she say? How did she say it? She made it sound as if like it was like a bunch of, you know, bright red Republicans and not rhinos that were in cahoots with Democrats. But anyway, let's play this game. Let's say Trump actually did do it. Okay? It took you that long to come up with a bill? What about the bill that the Republican House passed and sent up to the Senate to Chuck Schumer's desk? And Chuck Schumer never took it up for a vote. What about that border bill? Are we going to talk about what was actually in that bill, Kamala? Because I feel like there's not enough people talking about how you guys padded that bill with a bunch of extra crap. Like, how about 60 more billion to Ukraine, for starters? Did you mention that? That there was billions, and I repeat, billions of dollars being sent to other countries, not just one. There were lots of different other countries that money was being sent to if that bill was signed. Let's talk about it. You know, let's talk about it. And let's talk about the fact that it took you 3.5 years. Really? Okay. Interesting. She also got asked about Biden, and this is how that went.
Vice President Harris, you were a very staunch defender of President Biden's capacity to serve another 4 years. Right after the debate, you insisted that President Biden is extraordinarily strong. Given where we are now, do you have any regrets about what you told the American people?
No, not at all. Not at all. I have served with President Biden for almost 4 years now, and I'll tell you, it's one of the greatest honors of my career, truly. He cares so deeply about the American people. He is so smart and loyal to the American people. And I have spent hours upon hours with him, be it in the Oval Office or the Situation Room. He has the intelligence, the commitment, and the judgment and disposition that I think the American people rightly deserve in their president.
Okay. So you don't regret lying to us about Biden. Interesting. Okay. Note taken. And as you guys probably could have guessed, old Timmy, he got asked a couple of questions, and those didn't go very well either. But that's not surprising, is it?
I want to ask you a question about how you've described your service in the National Guard. You said that you carried weapons in war, but you have never deployed actually in a war zone. A campaign official said that you misspoke. Did you?
Well, first of all, I'm incredibly proud. I've done 24 years of wearing the uniform of this country. Equally proud of my service in a public school classroom, whether it's Congress or the governor. My record speaks for itself, but I think people are coming to get to know me. I speak like they do. I speak candidly. I wear my emotions on my sleeves, and I speak especially passionately about our children being shot in schools and around guns. So I think people know me. They know who I am. They know where my heart is. And again, my record has been out there for over 40 years to speak for itself.
And the idea that you said that you were in war, did you misspeak as the campaign has said?
Yeah, I said we were talking about, in this case, this was after a school shooting, the ideas of carrying these weapons of war. And my wife, the English teacher, told me my grammar is not always correct. But again, if it's not this, it's an attack on my children for showing love for me, or it's an attack on my dog. I'm not going to do that. And the one thing I'll never do is I'll never demean another member's service in any way. I never have.
Oh, well. Deflect. Play victim, right? Don't take any accountability for you literally lying. He also lied about IVF, but I'm not even going to show you guys that clip. I'm not even going to bother, because it's just insanity. But CNN went in full damage control immediately following that interview. Check it out. Or a little piece of it, actually. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but here.
It wasn't a huge, I don't think she moved the ball that much forward.
I don't think there's a policy separation that they've created with Biden. Obviously, she gave a kind of personal defense of him.
Now, you might not like the way she answered him, but she answered him as a capable, qualified leader. And I do think I think she moved the ball forward a little bit. You know, maybe she didn't score a touchdown.
I think the two biggest issues coming out of Biden for her are the economic policies, which she clearly wants to embrace, but also the immigration policies. Dana asked her if she had anything to say about what they did for 3.5 years leading up until the back and forth this year. Completely sidestepped it, did not answer it. She goes back to her time as Attorney General. But again, absolutely nothing, no responsibility, no reflection at all on the day one executive actions or anything else they did for 3.5 years or anything she said in her previous campaign, which was to have the most permissive immigration structure. She's trying to skip a block of time at the debate. Trump cannot allow it.
And Trump won't allow it. I am almost positive of that. She will not be able to skirt around, like she did with Dana Bash there in that interview. It's just not happening. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. And if I'm Trump, I'm taking the opportunity as soon as it presents itself to call her out. To call her out on her crap. And as a matter of fact, as I was watching some of these clips, I kind of got the feeling that she had an earpiece in her ear and somebody was telling her what to say. Because there was a few times where she paused and she talked really slow, as if she was listening to hear what the person said, and then she would say, whatever they told her. Do I know that for a fact? No. But if I'm Trump, I'm calling her out. I'm like, hey, pull your hair back during the debate. Pull your hair back. Let's see your ear real quick. Do you have an earpiece in? That's what I'm doing personally, because that's what it seemed like to me. She also seemed a little tipsy, no. But out of this whole situation, this whole interview, right? If you want to call it that, it's like a fireside chat more than an interview. I just got the sense that this is just absolutely terrible, and there's a reason why she hasn't done any interviews and probably won't. I'm almost positive that they really want to get out of the debate too, but they know how terrible that would be. So they're betting on Kamala at least just not completely bumbling and stumbling through the debate. Just keeping it even, all right? Just leaving the debate the same way she walked in, not too high, not too low, nothing. Because she can't go high, but she can definitely go low. Because she can't talk. She laughs and giggles about everything. But this is the feeling that I get after the debate. Check it out.
My values have not changed.
Reduce red meat specifically.
Yes.
The Boston Marathon bomber, they should be able to vote.
I think we should have that conversation.
Abolish ICE.
Yeah.
Would you ban offshore drilling?
Yes, I'm in favor of banning fracking. I am prepared to pass a Green New Deal. I support a mandatory buyback program. We're not going to treat people who are undocumented and cross the border as criminals. The idea that more police equals more safety, that's just wrong.
Policing, as we know, goes all the way back to slave patrols and that idea
of... You are absolutely right.
Where do you stand on defund the police?
We need to take a look at these budgets.
Do you ban plastic straws?
I think we should.
70 to 80% tax rate.
I think that's fantastic.
Chip in now to the Minnesota Freedom Fund.
How dare we speak Merry Christmas?
Yeah, I am radical. I do believe that we need to get radical about what we are doing.
So yeah, that was actually a Trump ad, but I feel the exact same way. I mean, she literally said my views have not changed. So if they haven't changed, well then, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you're in store for if she steps in office. Exactly. Not good. Actually terrible. And scary, quite frankly. So yeah, y'all let me know your thoughts, man. Your opinions. There's something interesting that came out of this as well that I'll talk about in a later video. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Because it's some great news. I will say that. All right. Y'all stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.